So you know him as the Howard Stern of fitness, all right? Is that a good way to put it? The Tom Likas of fitness. And this is actually a great timing too, because both Lynn and Mike did talk about the websites, content, affiliates, and so on. But now let's get to the meat of it. Let's get to the meat of creating an info product. And we all know video is the best way to go, whether it's DVDs, and if you notice, lately I've been putting out more videos than anything else, right? Whether it's DVDs or streaming off your laptop or your website, video content is the way to go. And Mike's going to tell you exactly what he did to create a video product that generated him $50,000 plus in the first month that it was launched. Right, Mike? Is that true? $50,000 profit in the first month. So he's going to go through the entire step-by-step process, and at the end, you could either make it into a DVD or have it streamed. But either way, it's going to make you a ton of money if you follow these steps. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Mahler. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, I really enjoyed Lynn's presentation. I think that affiliate programs should be at the B level. I'm a big, strong believer in affiliate programs, as I discussed yesterday, but they're not going to make anywhere near as much money for you as your own information products. And you want people to come to your website for you, for your products. That's what we're going to talk about today. First thing I'm going to do is talk about my latest project, because this is a very interesting piece that has been very successful. It's my most expensive product, but it has sold more copies, more units than all of my cheaper products, and it was made more money than anything else I've put out in just 1 month. So I'm going to talk about the conception of this and where I went with it. One thing about business and marketing is it's very important to look outside of our industry for fresh ideas. A lot of us want to learn from each other, which is great, but I often find that studying a variety of different business models helps keep things fresh and give me ideas that I may not have thought of otherwise. One thing I look at is how successful rock bands promote themselves, how they promote their tours, how they promote their gigs, how they promote their albums, how they promote their merchandise, all right? And one of the most successful rock bands is the band Kiss. I'm not a fan of the band at all. I think they suck, frankly, all right? But I am a big fan of Gene Simmons. How many of you know who Gene Simmons is? Okay. He's a brilliant businessman. He's one of the sharpest guys out there. And he took a band, which is frankly a bunch of average musicians, and made them into one of the strongest, most powerful merchandising entities out there. So I read his book. It's called Kiss and Tell. It's an exceptional book. And one of the ideas he discussed in there is a book made for hardcore Kiss fans. It was a book that was the size of a dictionary with hundreds of photos in it. It was a very expensive product. All of the publishers turned the book down because they realized that they would have to retail it for about $150 to make sure they make a good profit. And people don't walk into bookstores to spend that kind of money on a book. The consumer basically knows that they're going to spend maybe no more than $30 for a book on average when they walk into a bookstore. Plus, Kiss fans don't necessarily go to Barnes & Noble to buy merchandise, right? So it wouldn't have been a good option. This is also why I tell a lot of people that when you make your own products, if you have it in the stores, if you have it in Target and Walmart, that's only going to stroke your ego. It doesn't mean you're going to make a lot of money off of it. I know people that have kettlebell videos in Target, and believe me, they're not making any money, because how many people think of Target when they're going to go buy kettlebells, all right? And how many people are prepared to spend the amount of money that a kettlebell costs? Because kettlebells aren't cheap. A 20-pound kettlebell is going to cost $50. So when you walk into Target, you're expecting to get a deal. You're expecting to get something cheap. You're not going to walk in there and see a kettlebell which you've never seen before, spend $50 on it. You have to be educated already. You have to be a hardcore fan of that product. Right? So everyone was against this book that Gene Simmons is talking about, this book that had to sell for $150. So Gene Simmons basically said, let's not bother creating a distribution system where we put it in bookstores and so forth. Let's just sell this to our fan list, to our fan base. We have a list of hundreds of thousands of people that are our hardcore fans that would love something like this. This is the appropriate audience for that book. So long story short, they sold the book to the fan list. It was only offered to the fan list, and they made millions of dollars off of it. It was a huge success, all right? Even though they took a lot of risk on publishing it, it was very expensive to create, it was a tremendous success. And this is because Gene Simmons understood the business very well. He knew it wouldn't be a success in a retail store like a Barnes & Noble. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to be a success at all. You have to look at the right audience, and then you have to look at the right distribution system. Distribution is key. The more you control your own distribution of your products, the more money you're going to make. The more things you take responsibility for, the more money you're going to make. The less middlemen you have, the more money you're going to make. I make more money off my videos through my website than all of my distributors. I do have distributors for my videos, but my customers come to me because they're regular visitors of my website because of my articles and content. They like my information. They want to come to my website. My website is the first place they're going to hear about it. So any product I put out at this point, because I have a 7,000 member list of people that are big fans of my work, any product I put out at this point is going to be successful. And as long as I keep the quality high like I have with my previous 4 videos, it's going to be very successful. So I read that story about Gene Simmons maybe 2 years ago. And it wasn't something that had any application with my business at that time, but it was one of those things you just log away. Sometimes we hear a really good idea, and we go, that's a great idea. I'm not ready for it right now, but let me just log it away in my brain, and I'll take advantage of it when it's right. So this past year, 2007, I decided to promote a much bigger workshop than what I normally do. I'm well known for doing kettlebell seminars all around the country. I do these, and overseas. I do these one-day seminars. I've done some 2-day seminars. But I wanted to do something totally different. I wanted to get 3 other experts that have different styles of kettlebell information than myself, and three people just happen to be good friends of mine, and all of us get together and do the 2-day seminar that we've always wanted to do. The 4 of us worked in another organization. We all left for different reasons, but we all kept in touch because we're all good friends, and we all wanted to collaborate on something that would be much different than anything in the marketplace. Okay? All of these other guys are really good friends of mine. They're all really good in the business, but my site is the one that has the distribution. My site's the one that gets the most traffic for kettlebell trainers. My website, I have the most valuable list out of all of us. So I had to take the onus of marketing and promoting this thing. It's one of the skills that I'm good at. So I promoted the thing very well with really good ad copy. Now here's the thing about ad copy. The more expensive the product is, the longer the ad copy has to be. A very amateur look on ad copy is this, and I read this in some entrepreneur magazine, where a so-called marketing expert said, never write long ad copy because no one's going to read it, no one's going to buy the product. That's completely incorrect. It's not completely incorrect, actually. That's true that not too many people are going to read the whole thing, and that's not the point. The point is you have to educate the consumer on why they should spend a lot of money. This seminar costs $1,600 a person to come out. It's a lot of money. You can't just slap it up on your website and say, hey, 2-day seminar, $1,600, see you there. No one's going to spend that kind of money without getting excited about it, without understanding exactly why they should come and exactly what kind of benefit they're going to get out of it, all right? So it's not about the fact that people are not going to read your ad copy. It's the fact that you want to have a lot of information on there so when you're scrolling down, you're going, wow, look at all this stuff. Look at all this stuff that's going to be covered there. Look at all these testimonials. Look at all these things here. I'm definitely signing up now. All of a sudden, the price is not that daunting. What you want is you want someone to get to the very bottom of the page, and it doesn't matter what the cost is. They're so excited, bam, they're going to buy. Long story short, the seminar was very successful. Okay? It was a $40,000 profit for 2 days. I split that $40,000 4 ways evenly. I made sure each other person got $10,000. Now, that's about 5 times as much as each person used to make when they worked in the previous organization that we all used to be a part of. I was purposely generous. I could have easily justified saying, hey, I did all the ad copy, I did all the promotion. Most of the people who signed up came through my website. I could easily justify keeping $30,000 for myself and then just splitting the other 10 with you guys. And most of them probably would have been happy with that. But I took the path of being very generous. Friendship before business. Okay, that's my motto. I'm a strong businessman, but I'm not going to burn my friends, and I'm always going to err on the side of generosity. Whenever I have to make a choice of should I be more generous or less generous, I always go with more generous. That's always been my philosophy from day one, and it's worked very well. So these guys got paid $10,000 to do a 2-day seminar. Each person taught about 4 hours total. It was in Vegas. Everyone had a good time. It's a lot of money to make, especially when all you had to do was show up, teach your section, collect your check, and go home. Now, what I saw with this seminar was more than just doing a 2-day seminar. We each make $10,000 and it's over. That's the front-end income. Front-end income is never going to be as big as the back-end income via a product. So I had my brother who knows how to film videos. He knows how to edit videos. He does a great job. He's done all of my videos. I had him come out. I paid him to film the entire seminar, okay, all 16 hours of it. And then I paid him to edit the seminar, which was painstaking work. It was a lot of work that he put into it. And what I wanted to do was make the best workshop video of all time. Because I've seen a lot of workshop videos, training workshop videos, and generally the way they break down is there's no editing that's involved. They literally just film the whole 8-hour seminar, they put it on a disc, bam, throw it out there. So there's a lot of fluff on it, a lot of stuff where you have to sit there and fast forward through it. It's not as content driven as it should be. So with this video, I told Roger, my brother, to just take it to the chopping board. Chop out every single piece of fluff that you find on there. Get it down to 7 hours of really good material where no one has to fast forward it. It's easy for people to find what they want, and we make a great product out of it. So it ended up being about 7.5 hours worth of material, a 3-disc set. It's this video right here. Boys are back in town, kettlebell workshop. Now, this is something that I knew would be successful. So even though I spent about $15,000 when you went the cost of actually doing the workshop, the cost of paying my brother to film and edit it, the cost of having it duplicated, it was around $15,000. So that's how much money was out the door before I even started bringing some money back in. Now what's cool though is the fact that I generated $10,000 profit for myself for actually doing the seminar. That offset most of the fees, so really it wasn't that big a risk. Now when I finally got this product out there, the ad copy that I wrote for this video was even longer than the ad copy I wrote for the actual workshop. Why? Because I retail this for $100 to start off with. How many people just go to a website and spend $100 on a video just like that without thinking about it? See, not too many. $100, most consumers are educated to spend about $20 in a video. That's what we do when we go to Blockbuster or Hollywood Video and so forth. Okay, so that's the mindset that you're dealing with out there. And it doesn't matter that this is not a movie, that it's a content product. The mindset that people have is, if I buy a video, it's going to be around $20, $25. So to get someone to spend $100 in a DVD, you better qualify it. You better make them understand clearly why they should buy it. So if you go to my website, mikemahler.com, and you click on products, and then you click on the ad copy for this, it's 25 pages of ad copy. And again, it's not about whether people are actually going to read the whole thing or not. It's about conveying to the customer that this is why spending $100 is pocket change for this. This is why $100 is nothing. And it was a strong success because within 30 days, 530 orders came in. Okay, and after the first 2 weeks, I took the price up to about $150, and it was about 200 orders at that price. So overall, it was about a $50,000 profit, give or take, in 1 month, $50,000. And I'm just getting started. It's only been out for 1 month. It'll be a $100,000 video by the end of the year. So basically, what I'm going with this is, here's where I took something abstract, Gene Simmons' way of marketing. Some people would read that and go, okay, that's what rockers do, but that has no application for me. I extrapolated what he did, brought it to our industry, and it was a huge success. This has been the most successful video I've ever put out. The response has been tremendous. Not one person has bought this video and said it wasn't worth it. Most people said you could have charged twice as much, 3 times as much, and I would have bought it. Also, I could have charged $300 for this, and I guarantee you I still would have been a great success. But again, I wanted to err on the side of generosity. I looked at what the price was to actually attend the workshop. It was around $1,600. So I go, let's put the video at about 10% of that and put it out there. Also, every single person who paid to come to the workshop got a free copy of that video. Unheard of in this industry. I've never even heard of anybody doing that. Not only have I never heard of anybody filming a workshop that people attend, usually people are afraid to film their workshops because they feel that if they make a product out of it, then no one's going to come to the next one. How many of you saw the Fitness Business Summit 2007 that weren't here? Last year's one, right? So a bunch of you came. How many of you watched that and decided, hey, I'm definitely going to go to the next one? All of you that raised your hand, obviously, you're all here. All right, so you're not going to take away business by putting out a product. That's the fear-based mindset that people have, and you never want to operate from a fear-based mindset. You don't want to have this illusion that, oh, if I do this one thing, then no one else is going to come to this. If I make a workshop video, no one's going to want to come to my workshops live anymore. That's not going to happen. You're probably going to get more people that want to come to your workshops because now people in the privacy of their living room see, wow, that was a great seminar. Next time he does it, I'm definitely attending that. Even if they don't, you're making money off of those people that are just buying the video. So it works really well. But again, erring on the side of generosity, people paid $1,600 to attend this workshop live. Other companies would have given it to them for maybe a 10% discount, at the most a 50% discount. I said, everyone's getting a free copy. I'm going to ship it out to you. You're not going to pay a dime. They're all excited about it. They spent a lot of money, a lot of information in 16 hours. It all goes over your head. now you have a video that's a great souvenir, and it backs up everything that you went over the weekend. So this is the kind of mindset you want to have, and where I'm going also with this is, not only think about making videos where you're the star, start thinking about who else you can network with. Start thinking about combining forces with other people where you have information that's not exactly the same, but somewhat complementary and similar fan base. So you could actually work with 3 other people at this very seminar and make a collaborative effort. Now, the reason why this video was so successful, though, is because I built a name for myself over the last 6 years. If I tried to put this video out 6 years ago, it would have been a huge failure. So let's talk about how to get started when you don't have a reputation yet of making products. Okay, real quick, here was my self-published income for 2007. I have 2 ebooks out there. Made about $13,000, a little bit over that with it. Okay, I'm not retiring off that income, but it's a nice little passive income because ebooks, people just go to your website, they download it automatically, you're not part of the process. So it's an extra $13,000 off my stuff. They read the ebook and now they want to buy other stuff. It's kind of an advertisement for the more expensive stuff, such as workshops, personalized programs, and more expensive videos. Okay, revenue for the DVD, looking at about $128,000. Expenses was $31,000. And expenses means the cost of having the videos filmed, edited, duplicated, sending them out to people, shipping, and so forth. So the pure profit for the video last year was almost $100,000. We're looking at $96,000. Plus the ebooks, just from my own self-published income, we're looking at over $100,000. Now, in previous years, that's the kind of income I used to make from making workshops. I would have to hustle, though. I'm doing 25 workshops a year. I'm traveling all over the place, which really wears on you. When you're traveling across the country back and forth, there was a time where every other weekend I'm flying somewhere. And it really wears on you. It's kind of fun in the beginning, but you can't do it forever. And that's why passive income is so important for fitness professionals, because even if you enjoy what you're doing now, lots of private stuff, owning a facility and so forth, you may not want to do it 30 years from now. And if you don't create other options now, you may not have an option later. You may have to keep on working even if you don't want to. When you create these passive income streams, now you don't have to do that. I don't do as many workshops as I used to now. I'm probably going to do maybe 5 this year. And I'm doing those more for fun, not because I have to, because between my affiliate income, my personalized program design income, and my own product income, I'm making close to $200,000 without leaving the house. Okay, so just kicking back at home, I'm making close to $200,000. That's where I wanted to go 5 years ago. I knew that I had to hustle at that point. I knew I had to work really hard, sacrifice, which is one of the most important things that a lot of people are not prepared to do. A lot of us in society are not prepared to make the sacrifices that are needed for success. We're not prepared to do what needs to be done. And if you're not prepared to do what needs to be done, you don't deserve to be successful. You deserve to be a loser, because that's exactly what you are. Okay? All right. Those of you clapping, you guys are losers too, man. Shut. All right. All right, let's move on here. All right. Okay. 10 common mistakes that fitness professionals make with training DVDs. Conception is usually where a lot of errors come into play. The number one error, which is unbelievable, some of the stories I've heard on what people have spent on videos, is spending way too much money on videos. This is not an MTV production here, all right? We're not trying to make a Hollywood movie with this. This is an information product. Yes, there has to be a level of entertaining, but that's your job. You as a presenter should be entertaining. You don't have to have all these expensive music videos and flash graphics and so forth. I know people that have spent $50,000 on a fitness video before. And they spent so much money on making this really nice cover and having all this great music and all these different camera angles. You got 8 different cameras. You got bottom angle, top angle, side angle, bird's eye view, so forth. All right? You're spending $50,000 in a video without even researching the market to see if there's even anyone who wants to buy that video. All right? So you got to do research. You got to figure out if there's even an audience for this stuff first. Do you even have any traffic that's coming to your website? Does anyone even know about you? If no one knows about you, it's not time to make a video yet. When you have customers that keep telling you, wow, you should put this on video, wow, you should write a book, that's when you know it's time to make a product. Not before then. There's a time and place for everything. Spraying the money hose will never make you successful, all right? Just because you have access to millions of dollars doesn't mean that you should just blow it. You want to use your brain. You want to use guerrilla marketing techniques. You want to think outside the box and be smart about it. and not have to blow a lot of money. To this day, I've never spent any money on advertising. I've never spent any money whatsoever on advertising on the web or offline to drive traffic to my website. It's always been about writing as much content as possible on my website, other people's websites, in magazines to get traffic to my website. I know people that spend $5,000 putting a full-page ad in a magazine. I've gotten paid $1,000 before to write an article in a magazine, which is basically a more effective form of advertising that magazine. So now I'm basically getting paid to advertise in a magazine. How many of you actually read commercials in a magazine? No, we just flip over. We read articles. So articles are always going to be way more effective in a magazine than an advertisement. Even if you can afford to put an advertisement in a magazine, you want to look for a way to get an article in there instead. If you have to pay to get an article in a magazine, which a lot of these magazines do now, that's better than just slapping up an ad. Okay, next mistake, we're looking at the polar opposite. Not spending enough money on the video. Right, you don't want to have a $100 camcorder. You don't want to do it in your living room with your dog barking in the background. You don't want to have bad lighting where we can't even see you, where the audio is ridiculous, all right? You don't want to insult your customers. You don't want to make them feel like idiots because they spent money on your product and it looks like crap. So you want to be in the middle ground. You don't want to blow a lot of money unnecessarily, but at the same time, you don't want to make stuff that's really bad. Now, interestingly enough, I know people that have made very poorly produced videos, and because their marketing and ad copy is so exceptional, it's still a great success. But it's only going to be a success in the short run because you start developing this reputation of just being a cheap ass where you're a minimalist. You're not prepared to go that extra mile for your customer. You're willing to save a couple bucks to shortchange your customer, and you don't want to have that reputation. You want to have the reputation of someone buys it and they go, wow, this is great. I would have paid a lot more for this. Okay, so make sure the quality is pretty good. If you look at all of my videos, and here's a little pitch, go buy my video, whether you want the content or not, so you can see how a good video is made. Go buy this video so you can see how to make $50,000 with a video. If you look at my videos, it's not perfect production, it's not perfect sound, it's not even perfect visual, but it's more than good enough. I've never had anyone complain or send a video back because the audio visual wasn't good enough. And again, people are willing to forgive a little bit of that stuff if your content is superb, if your delivery is superb, which mine is. All of my products are content driven, there's no fluff on them, that's why they all sell really well. All right, next mistake. Next mistake is being too scripted. And I can understand why some people are too scripted because it's very awkward filming a video where it's just you in front of a camera, especially the first time you do it because you're just talking to nobody or one person. All right, so it's very awkward. And you want to have some kind of script to follow because otherwise you're all over the place. You want to have your ideas conveyed in a manner that people understand them clearly. You don't want to be going off on these tangents and so forth. That's why you want to have some level of a script. But you don't want to be so scripted where you sound like you're just reading off of something because your personality doesn't come through. Videos are a great way to get your personality out to more people than you're ever going to get in front of you. You can sell more videos potentially than you're ever going to have private clients or workshop attendees or anything like that. All right, so your video is a way to sell your personality, your business, your style to potentially the entire world. Anyone who has a DVD player can buy your video. And in the near future, it's going to be as simple as people just download your video, just like they download ebooks now. So now's the time to really get into this. So you want to be coherent without being scripted. How many of you have gone to, what's the name of that lame organization that teaches you how to do public speaking? Toastmasters. How many of you have gone to that? Okay. I can always spot a Toastmasters speaker from a mile away. You know why? Because they talk like this. Good morning, everybody. My name is Mike Mahler, and I'm going to be talking about the exciting field of fitness professionals. Let's get started with point number 1. All right? That is not how you want to be. You don't want to come off like a robot. And if that offends somebody, too bad. You get good at public speaking by getting out there and public speaking. There's no way to avoid that. If you're scared of public speaking, you just have to do it. I sucked at public speaking when I first started doing this years ago. Now it's comfortable for me. It's not a big deal. You get good at stuff by working through that fear, working through it. The only way you're going to become a good public speaker or even a decent one is just by getting in front of people, not getting in front of other people that are not good public speakers. You're getting feedback from other people that are scared of public speaking. All right? It's not going to be that effective. Got to get out there. The most effective way and the harshest way to learn public speaking very quickly, this is like the boot camp of public speaking skills, is to go speak at high schools. Go speak to high school students. If you want to make it even harder, go speak to high school students in the inner city. I did a couple presentations to Crenshaw High School when I lived in Los Angeles. That was a hard group to get across to. Okay, but I did get across to them. They really related to me. They liked what I had to say. So I knew that if I can get across to these people, I can get across to anybody, right? Because they could care less about what I have to say. I'm just another adult walking in there going, hey, keep a positive attitude and you'll do just fine. But I don't talk like that. I talk from a very reality-based mindset, from a very visceral mindset, and these kids were able to relate to that. So you're going to get good at public speaking, which is a necessary skill for production videos, by going out there and doing it. There's no way to avoid it. You're not going to get good at training without doing it. You can't just work out for your clients. No one else can do public speaking for you. You have to do it. You're just going to have to get over it. There's no way around it. All right. All right. Here are the reasons why people buy fitness videos. People buy fitness videos for content. So what you don't want to do is just have something where it's just entertaining and there's no value in there. A lot of fitness videos out there are just not content driven enough. The presenter is not really getting to the point in a way that's articulate and gets the viewer interested. Two kinds of content that are very successful. What I do, kettlebell training, is a very technical form of training. There's a lot of technique involved with it. It's not something where you're just going to pick it up from reading a book, because there's a lot of minor details and so forth, especially for the more complicated exercises. So my videos, especially since I do really heavy kettlebell training, how to work up to very heavy weight training and so forth, it's going to be very technically driven. I spend 30 minutes sometimes just on one exercise, breaking down every single point, and I've always had people compliment that and say, wow, you could have gone an hour because you broke down so many different things on there. Basically, you're trying to get someone to learn something that's very technically demanding without being in front of them. So you basically have to act as if you're in front of them. You have to look at all the common mistakes they would make. You have to look at every possible mistake they might make, and then you have to convey exactly how to do things. So my videos are very instructive, and they've done very well. Other people that have done videos that are just as successful, if not more successful, are workout along videos. So start thinking about what kind of workouts you do, what your training system is, and how you can put that onto a video. Workout along videos are just what they sound like, where you're watching and you can work out along with it. It's not conducive to my training style because I don't want someone throwing around 200-pound kettlebells while they're watching TV, right? There's a lot that can go wrong with that. You're in your living room in an apartment with 200-pound kettlebells, and you're doing an exercise called the swing facing the TV, and you just happen to lose the bells for a second, and there goes your TV. There goes your dog. There goes your wife. I don't want anyone getting killed because I had the wrong video concept. So when you do these workout along videos, the best ones are body weight exercise driven, medicine ball type stuff, exercise ball. You get the idea. Jump rope videos, those are the kind of things that are good for a workout along. I can tell you though, even though it doesn't fit my style, those are by far the most successful fitness videos ever because people don't want to think about training. They just want to put the video in and get it over with. Don't think about necessarily what you would be interested in. You have to think about it from the other person's point of view. They don't want to read all the books that you've read. They don't want to go to all the seminars that you've gone to. They don't want to go through all the trial and error that you have been through. They want to just put a workout in, not think about it, finish it in 30 minutes, and move on. Okay. Another mistake that people make with information products is just no focus. The title doesn't convey clearly what the video is about, and you don't know why. The consumer doesn't really know why he or she should buy it. It's all over the place. You have to pick one theme, stay within that theme. You can always do another theme later. Here are my video titles. Okay, one I put out in 2004, The Kettlebell Solution for